So today we're going to talk about the world of work and types of jobs and their requirements, right? Now, here's the concept of today that we need to focus on, right? You got to realize that every job requires a bunch of different skills, right? And to perform it effectively and efficiently, right? So if you take a look at these two advertisements, dog walker, Cozy Kennels is hiring someone to walk 4 groups of dogs daily, 7 days per week, from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And the next one here is the delivery driver. So delivery drivers for Luigi's Pizza Parlor. And he's looking for 2 individuals to deliver pizza. He must have a reliable vehicle and a valid driver's license. He needs to work from Sunday. He or she needs to work from Sunday to Thursday from 4 p.m. until 11 p.m. and on Friday from 4 p.m. until 2 p.m. Now, here are some questions that I want you to think about. So now here are our 2 jobs, the dog walker and the delivery driver. So now what I want you to consider is what skills you think would be necessary for both of those jobs. So here are some basic skills. Think about it, pause the video, and then you'll check yours against mine. So the first thing you got to consider is if you're working for these 2 jobs, you got to be very nice and friendly and be able to speak to people in a very polite manner. So these are your customers or your clients, okay? The next thing you got to be able to do is you need to be able to communicate well with other people in the company. Those are your other employees that work with you. Now, you also have to be punctual, okay? So if you think about it, each job requires you to work from one time to another, and you got to be there on time in order to get your job done. Some of you guys say that all you like to do is work, but to work, you got to be there on time in order to make your money and complete that job. Another thing you got to do is you got to be very professional with the people that you're working for. Okay, whether it be your dog clients or the customers, right? So you got to be able to show a professional attitude because that is you are the first line that the customer sees from that company. And finally, you have to have really good time management skills so you can complete the jobs that you have to do. All right, now let's move on to the next question. So the next things that we have to consider is what skills would be specific to each of these jobs. So we want to know what skills are unique to each. So let's go and consider the delivery job first, okay? So if we're considering the delivery job, what do you have to be able to do? All right, pause the video and discuss it amongst yourselves or think about it and jot down some ideas. Then we'll take it up. So for the delivery job, you're going to need to like to drive and know how to drive, right? You're also going to have to know how to use a GPS to navigate the delivery, okay? The other thing that you got to do is to be able to handle money or credit cards or debit cards, right? You also have to be able to speak clearly in order to be heard and understood by all the people that you work with. The other thing that you got to be able to do is you got to love being up late because sometimes you're working at 2 in the morning, which is ridiculous. It's not the job for me, but it might be for you. So when you're talking about the dog walker, you got to see that for the dog walker, you have a bunch of things you got to consider, right? And it's different than what you would have done for the delivery job, right? The first thing you got to do is you got to understand that you got to like dogs. You got to understand how to actually deal with the obedience of the dog and how to train a dog in order to walk with you and act like you're the pack leader. Another thing is to understand typical dog behavior. Why is a dog growling? Why is a dog doing this? Why is a dog doing that, right? Why is a dog pooping on the specific spot on the route, right? Another thing that I want you to be able to do is you got to be able to work early in the morning. Remember, you got to wake up at 6 a.m. to do this job, right? So these are the basic skills that you need. So now let's consider something like this. what steps do you think you're going to have to try to attain one of those two jobs? Remember, we're talking about the dog walker and we're talking about the pizza delivery person, right? So I want you to think about it, write down some ideas, and then I'll give you what I have found, because walking dogs and delivering stuff is something that I did at some point in my life. So this can help you. So in order to attain one of those two jobs, the first thing that you got to do is you got to identify the skills that you have. So you got to take stock of who you are and what you can do, right? Then what you got to do is you got to go and add that information to a resume so you can actually talk to somebody or give them an idea of what you can do. Then what you got to do is you got to have a bunch of people that can vouch for you. So these are your references. So you need to update your references. So for me as a teacher, every year I get bounced from one school to another. So I got to make sure that I have good references, and I got to make sure that there are people that have actually seen me work and what I do with my students. The next thing I got to do is I got to make sure that I got to write a cover letter that explains what I'm looking for from the employer. They can tell you what they want, but you also got to tell them what you want or you can give to them. And that is what a cover letter is. And then the next thing is just to go and prepare for your interview and make sure you know what you're doing. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it. And that's how you would go about obtaining these jobs. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to work on the next assignment. It's just a lesson that you'll have to read about different skills and how to attain them. And then you're going to you're going to watch a little video, and then you're going to fill out a worksheet for me. All right, there you go, buddies. Have a good day.